Greetings, traveler, and welcome to Glamour Dust. Here, you will find stories of magic, adventure, and wonder, all written and recorded by your friendly neighborhood storyteller, H.A. Titus. Grab yourselves a drink and settle in to hear the tale. Chink, chink, chink. The sound of my tools echoed off the corrugated metal walls of the small workshop. I stopped for a moment, clenched my hands, and closed my eyes. Concentrate. I opened my eyes again and stared at the table in front of me. My small brain felt like it was shorting out. It wasn't built for reconstructive surgery, certainly not of the delicate nature this required. My hands trembled as I picked up a soldering iron. I stopped a moment and stared at my fingers. That had never happened to me before. Why now, when I needed steadiness more than ever? This new influx of emotions was quite disturbing. I lowered the iron to the mess of wires before me and began attaching them to the gears and bolts with slow, painful precision. The light from the grimy windows began to fade as I worked, but I forced my mind off it and back to the task at hand. Before the light gave out completely, I finished the last wire. I put the tool down, reached to the side of the table, and turned off the intravenous drip. With my tools and the drip turned off, the sounds of the outside jungle filtered into the workshop. Thousands of miles into the middle of nowhere, and now the explosion had taken our transport, the only way to get home. It had taken the leg I was reconstructing. It had very nearly taken more than just the leg. If I had been a human, I would have crossed my fingers for luck. Rather, I sat still and waited for my patient to awake, slowly fanning the strange, foreign spark that burned in my chest. I believe he would have called it hope. The man on the table stirred and opened his eyes. A-10, is that you? I had no breath to use, otherwise I would have sighed in relief. Yes, master. It is good to see you awake. He sat up and stared at the leg of gears, wires, and metal that substituted for his own. What happened? Where did... His voice trailed off. What did you do to yourself? He stared at the tangled mess of scrap parts, all that was left of my own right leg. I bowed my head. Without you, I would rust into nothing. Therefore, I thought it best to fix you before I worried about myself. He reached out and folded his fingers around my cold, thin, metal ones. Thank you, A-10. Thank you for your sacrifice. Sacrifice? No, just self-preservation. Sometimes I was convinced my master forgot that I was only made of metal, and yet he had never programmed me for something like this. I smiled and squeezed his hand a little. Perhaps some of his humanity was rubbing off. If you enjoyed today's story, please like, subscribe, or share with a friend. You spreading the word about my stories will enable me to continue bringing more stories about adventure, hope, and magic into the world. If you want more of my stories, you can find my serialized fiction on Ream and Royal Road, my newsletter, Tea and Tales, and my blog, The Millennial Luddite, are on Substack. All the links will be in the show notes, and thank you so much for gathering around to listen to this tale.